We focused our research on the Samsung Flipboard, which is an interactive board that can be found in some meeting rooms at the TUE. It can be used for many things like screen sharing and presenting, but also for taking notes, which is the main function we studied. The main problem we found while performing a usability test was that many of the board's options for personalizing the note-taking experience were not present in the menu toolbar, but could only be reached by performing specific shortcuts. For example, changing the color of the pen, which is arguably one of the most important features for note-taking, can only be done by tapping and holding the pen onto the screen until this menu appears. This is the only way to do that. This menu is not found anywhere else. Another example is erasing, which can only be done by using your hands or finger on the board. This is indicated nowhere, and there is no erase function or option on any menu. People seem to find it very hard to change the color of the pen or the thickness or to erase when they haven't ever used the board before. However, once people know how to use the board, this problem seemingly vanishes immediately, forever, probably. So how can we solve this problem as cheaply and efficiently as possible? Adding a help menu could definitely work, however there is a catch. There already is a help menu that explains everything. The thing is, people don't want to click on it because that is the same question mark you see on every other device, and it's always so dull and boring. So we fall victims to a kind of expectation bias. A solution here would be to make the question mark more enticing to click on, or maybe have it show up as a pop-up after a period of inactivity. However, this would probably take some kind of redesigning of the UI and some programming work to implement. The iPad Pro is a similar touchscreen device that can also be used for taking notes, and in almost any note-taking app there's an on-screen menu visible at all times that is extremely clear and effective. It gives you all the options to change the pen color, thickness, style, or to even erase. This solution would likely be very effective because it would make everything so self-explanatory that there would almost for sure be no confusion anymore. However, it would involve some major redesigning of a big chunk of the software and user interface, which would take a lot of time and resources. Training every student or faculty member in person on how to use the board or creating some kind of video tutorial could potentially be solutions. Another thing that was considered was to just hang a poster with instructions next to the board. But we realized that there is currently a homepage visible in every single Samsung Flipboard available at the TUE. So we decided that by far the cheapest and simplest solution would be to simply change this homepage to an informative visualization on how the board works. Given people only need a tiny nudge as to how the board works in order to understand it immediately almost, spending resources on training or software development is not necessary here. For the low cost of approximately zero, this would likely eliminate the issue to a great extent, which is why we think this solution is the most worthy, and we invite the TUE to take immediate action. We are, however, operating on the assumption that people would actually read this homepage and not completely ignore it. So therefore we would have to make it spark people's interest somehow, maybe using bright colors or mentioning free food or something. In conclusion, when gauging the costs against the benefits for each of these proposed solutions, we have determined that since the problems arise mainly due to a lack of knowability and clarity, messing with the programming would be too expensive and unnecessary. Our solution would only involve the cost of the short amount of time needed to create the visualization and then load the file to every board. And that's it. Please support the hashtag change the flip homepage, or actually hashtag flip the homepage. Thanks for watching.